Story of the Rich Man and the Devil. There was once a man who was considered to be rich by the standards of the village that he lived in. He had a prosperous farm, and what he really liked was to go into his barn and look at how full it was with grain. Wealth being measured not in gold but in food. I rather like that actually. But perhaps he had some gold hidden away somewhere. But really, because he was a farmer, his wealth was in the fruits of the earth, I suppose would be a good way of putting it. And there came a day when he heard a knocking, and he realised that the knocking wasn't at his door, it was in his heart. And perhaps the farmer realised that he was getting towards the end of his days. So when his neighbour, who was a poor man, came to see him and said, "My children are hungry. I have nothing to give them," he said, unusually for this man, "Take 8 sacks of grain, grind it, make it into flour, bake it into bread, and feed your children." The poor man was a little confused by this, but took the grain quite quickly before the rich chap changed his mind. But before the poor man left, the rich farmer said to him, "All I ask in return is that when I die, you will watch over my grave for 3 nights." The poor man thought, well, that won't happen yet. But he was mistaken in his belief, for the rich man died. 1 day, 2 days later. The poor man kept his word, and after the funeral, he went to the churchyard and sat and watched the grave. For the first night, for the second night. But on the third night, when he got to the churchyard, he found someone there, sitting with his back to the wall. The man said, "Why are you here?" For the man was a stranger, he wasn't someone from the village. He was wearing a much patched but still warm cloak and what looked like army issue boots. And the man said, "Seeking shelter for the night, and this wall looked like a good solid wall to shelter behind, and no one comes to a churchyard at night except you. And I am a soldier. I have been discharged. I am tramping the country, simply trying to earn a living, trying to find work. Why are you here?" So the poor man explained. And the discharged soldier said, "Well, I'm afraid of nothing. I'm like the boy in the story who went in search of fear. I have been a soldier. A few graves don't bother me." And what he said was absolutely true, because when a well-known character with cloven hooves and a dark beard appeared to them, the soldier wasn't in the least bit scared. The soldier said, "If you're seeking to take that man's soul, You must pay for it with gold. You must fill my boot with gold. So the devil said, I have a friend nearby who's a moneylender. I can fill your boot with gold. So the devil went off to find his friend, the moneylender, and the soldier took off his boot, took out his knife, and cut off the sole of his boot. He dug a hole in the grave so that the base of his soulless boot would go into the void of the grave. When the devil got back, he poured the gold coins into the boot, but they didn't seem to fill the boot. So the devil went back to the moneylender and brought back another bag of gold. And he poured that in, and that didn't fill the boot either. So the devil went back a third time, came back with another bag of gold and poured that into the boot. And as he did so, the sun appeared over the horizon, and gradually dawn began to change the churchyard. And of course that was the moment when the devil had to leave. And he turned, probably with a swish of his black cloak, and glowered at the two men, for he had lost a soul. So the poor man and the soldier looked at each other, and together they dug out all the gold coins from the moneylender that the devil had poured into the boot. And the poor man said, we can divide this between the two of us. The soldier said, there's a great deal of gold here. Even half would be more than you and I could ever need. I will take half. I will give it to the poor to help those who are truly in need. The other half, I will move in with you. I will come and live with you and your family. And together we can live comfortably till the end of our days. So I like to think that the soldier and the poor man, and of course his children, really did live. Now, and this is your line. Come on, you do this bit. Are you ready? You ready? Come on. Happily ever after. Which is kind of how stories should end, I think. I call that The Rich Man and the Devil. The original title of that was actually The Grave Mound, but I thought nobody's going to want to listen to a story called The Grave Mound, are they? So I just changed it a bit. I quite like devil stories, actually. He never wins, you know. Well, sometimes. There are other devil stories on my channel. So if you'd like to find them, please do subscribe. And there are lots more Brothers Grimm stories and some Greek stories and all sorts of things. So please do subscribe, because stories do like to be listened to, and of course stories do like to be told. So learn a few stories and try telling them yourself. And I hope to see you again. Take care.